Good afternoon, everyone. Well, in today's installment of the Crown Royal 7300E, talking about cleaning out basically behind the nozzle, the primary inlet back there. Seems to get clogged up every once in a while. It's going to be super cold next week, and I cannot afford for that to be plugged up. So we're going to go ahead and what we got to do is take all these coals out of here. I burned it down kind of best I could. We'll scoop them out, toss them aside. I think I modified this last time right, that I can only just remove the back panels. We'll see. I got to straighten this panel out too. It fell off, but it's been sitting in there fine. So anyway, we'll get this cleaned out, and then hopefully I'll show you guys what all gets clogged back there. Alright, so you guys can see a little bit better the lay of the land here. You've got your nozzle in the center. Now there's really two pieces here. Right, kind of point with my finger right there, where it splits to a back piece, basically where the taper stops. What we're going to do, and even if you've had this cleared off and out for a while, that ceramic holds heat like you cannot imagine. Even with these thick gloves, you do not want to touch that thing. So what I'm going to do is gently take my hoe or another tool and get under the edge and just, I typically like to kind of gently roll it over. And then you'll be able to see, sorry, I gotta get those back panels off. And then that'll give a good look at everything in this area. I'll be able to clean that out a little bit better back there eventually once I get that back piece out. Something to note, there's a lot of, I feel like quite a few people on the E-Series now, you know, with the nozzles, they have issues with them getting kind of broken up. I was one that tried the metal plate on top. Here's my metal plate right now. You can see it's kind of ovaled out, and that is just from the wear. I'd say that's a 1/2 inch thick. It's just carbon steel, so that's why it's getting eaten up. But this thing's 1.5 years old, and so it's ovaled itself out. It's worn a little bit. But when you think about 1.5 years, the cost of that versus, look at that nozzle. It is pristine still. And other people I've seen have pretty good luck, it seems like, with the plate on top, that make kind of that the consumable. I think when you're putting in pieces in the stove, then it's protecting that nozzle while it's hot. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, forgot to add the clause that, like, the creosote issues I'm talking about here, lots of people don't have them. So whether it's too high a moisture, I measure all my stuff is under 20%, or I've got too much temperature draw on my system, very well could be it. I don't know, but I have this problem. There's other people that have creosote problems in these. There's plenty of people that don't, so I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I can tell you one thing for sure, because I can't really change it, is don't have so much temperature drop, too many things drawing the heat from one loop. But yeah, anyways, all right, so let's move this, get that back one out of there, get these plates off. All right, and see, this is where air is supposed to be coming in this back channel, down the back side of here, into the secondary air under there, and is totally plugged up. This is worse than it looks because I ran the weed burner in here and flaked all that creosote up earlier, but yeah, so that's why we got to pull all of this out in order to clean back there. All right, so again, you can see here I folded that back piece up, and this is where it gets creosote right in there into those channels. So that's where we got to clean that out. While we're at it, I'll clean these corners out, because that's where creosote really builds up. And then taking a look at the back panels here, and this is where it builds up on the back side. And you know, the air comes in that tube and it's supposed to draw the air down, and it just, for me at least, it plugs up the creosote. Alright, well, I figure that's about as good as I'm gonna get it for now. One thing I gotta do, still haven't done, but I will soon, is make a tool to go in that primary air inlet tube. What would be nice, what I'm gonna do, is the tool you get from the crown needs to be about an inch shorter. Now, the one thing about this though is, and maybe other people can tell me if they do this, my stove is one of the first generation of the E Pristine series, and so I cannot get in the back of my air inlet box. All the newer ones just unbolt, so you could come at that box, that tube from the other side. I can't do that, so this is kind of my own unique problem, I guess. All right, so time to put it all back together, get this fire going again. All right, it's starting to get dark here, but anyways, got this all back together, ready to start a fire. A few notes, some things I should have mentioned. First off, well, Daniel, how do you know I'm plugged up back there? Well, I'll say this. If your stove has been running a cycle for even a minute or two, and you don't hear that loud, like, roar, like, I'm talking like a flamethrower going, that is the kind of roar you want to hear. I bet you're plugged up. That's how I can always tell, is when I have a new fire in here, this thing just roars as it's going through that nozzle and getting that secondary air, burning it hotter. I mean, it's got a lot going on. And like right now, before I did this, it was like every once in a while it was getting enough oxygen, but it was getting it from this main chamber and not down there. Yeah. Make sure you have good gloves while doing this. Make sure you have a good mask. Breathing in the dust and these fumes is no bueno. And so yeah, I've got this down pat enough that I can do this within an hour. It's not too time consuming. I'm slowly getting better, making the process more efficient. And like I said, I gotta get that tool to clean out the back. So I'm gonna get this fire going, and then it's time to move on to other things. If you don't want to even risk having these issues, if you're in the market for a stove, look at the MP series. I got nothing against Crown right now. The water samples are their own kind of issue right now that people are having, the chlorides. But anyways, the MP is a tank of a stove. My in-laws have one, and it's just awesome. My father-in-law's had it for almost 3 years now. Haven't had a single issue. Maintenance is absolutely practically none on it. No, just your standard cleaning. You can check out my other videos. I've done some videos on a comparison of the two. I've of course got another video just talking about the MP series. I'll put the links up there in the top right, and I'll also put them in the bottom in the description. So I've got playlists of videos. Just please give me a thumbs up on this video. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me in the comments, obviously, or yeah, we'll get like I said, a fire going here. All right, and just like that, we got a fire going. So this old 7300E cleaned up, ready to go. You all have a good day. Hope this helped someone out there. And let me all know what your experience is with these E-Series, if you have one. And yeah, like I said, the opinions out there vary, but that's enough for today. Have a good one. Stay warm.